Well, thank you for joining us again on the Shoulder Tap Podcast. I appreciate you being here, and I think we got a great program today as we have an individual coming from us with Men's Alliance. Men's Alliance is a ministry. I think a lot of you guys, especially you guys who really do some exercises, will be very interested in hearing about, and even some of us old guys will be interested because it really piqued my interest too as a elder in the culture these days. But I have with us today David Goose Mills. He's the founder of Men's Alliance, and he's a retired Air Force officer and a Christian apologist. Goose has been married for 24 years. He has 4 kids, and like I said earlier, he is the founder and director of Men's Alliance. And he likes to be called Goose in the Men's Alliance world. So I'm going to call him Goose during this broadcast. I may slip up from time to time and say David. But anyway, Goose, I appreciate you being with me today.
Mike, thanks for having me, brother. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's always good. You know, you guys have been involved with Iron Sharpens Iron this year, going to the conference in Sharon. And I met a few of you guys in the North Carolina conferences, and they really intrigued me with what Men's Alliance is doing. And I've seen the video that y'all have produced that kind of highlights everything that you accomplished during a meeting, and it really did intrigue me. I think your ministry said something about ministering to men from 13 to 99 or 113 or something like that, and I think it's great. Tell me how that all came about. How did God put this into your mind to pull this together, and what is Men's Alliance all about?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to just share this with your listeners, Mike. It came about because it's what I needed. Like, I just started a small group at the church I was attending because it's what I needed in my life. I knew that if I was going to stay on course as a Christian husband and father, that I needed to surround myself with some strong Christian men, and that I needed to be real and honest about my struggles. And that was the basis for it. I had tried other, types of small groups that just weren't working for me. And I knew I needed something that was going to be very rugged and real, where men could drop that facade of everything being fine. So I just started a small group at the church I was at, and I was like, hey, I would rather meet outside around a fire than indoors. And then I thought, you know what, we need to do something physical before we start. We need to break the ice with something that gets men out of their comfort zones physically, mm-hmm. to prepare us to get out of our comfort zones spiritually as well. So I was like, you know what, we should probably just start off with a 30-minute workout and then a 30-minute devotion around a fire. Very simple formula, very simple blueprint. And as it's turned out over these past few years, is that formula resonates with men, and men want this in their areas, in their neighborhoods, at their churches. So we've just seen this type of a new men's ministry that actually calls men to do hard things. So you and I know that men love a good challenge, whether mm-hmm. it's, yep. one of those games, one of those events at a fairground, like something about that appeals to a man. We want to go see if we can do it, if we can swing that hammer hard enough or whatever it is. We need to be challenged. We were designed to do hard things. And I view American Christian men today as caged lions. We're like lions at a zoo. We're designed for more. We're designed for harder. We're designed for battle. Yet most Christian men in America today are comfortable and asleep on the sideline. They're not in the fight. They're not in the game. Yeah. They enjoy being in the zoo instead of being in the wild. And what Men's Alliance does is it awakens men. It gets them off the sideline and back into the game. It really uncages lions. That's what we're doing.
Oh, that's super. That's super. Now, you said you do your 30-minute workout. What's a 30-minute workout like? Is it something that you do as a group, or is there individual things that men can do, like couple of guys may want to run, a couple of guys may want to walk, a couple of guys may want, like you say, sling the hammer. How do you do your workouts period?
Yeah, great question. Every Men's Alliance workout is designed to be you against you. It's just each man doing what he can do. So we have men in their 70s, 80s, even. We have men with amputations. We have men with knee replacements, hip replacements, bad backs, bad knees, bad shoulders. We're all broken in some way. And so we're not a workout group. We're a tribe that uses a workout at the beginning of our meetings, but we're not a workout group. So we do it all together, but we allow every man to modify and do what he can do. So, the group might be, the leader for that day, and we take turns leading. It's a new leader every week. Might say, hey, we're gonna do, as many burpees as we can do in 2 minutes, something like that. Well, one guy might be doing 50 and the other guy might be doing 5, and that's okay because they're both giving it all they've got. And so we encourage men. We don't put each other down. We encourage, we build up, and we get guys to just do what they can do.
Oh, that's super. That's super. How about your Bible studies? Is it a per se, like a walk through a particular book of the Bible, or you're working in a book, or is it whoever the leader of that particular day feels led to speak on? How do you do that?
Yeah, it's exactly the latter that you just said. We do not go through a book. We don't go through a curriculum intentionally, because I found from past experiences that sometimes when you do that, you're only discussing a certain thing that night, maybe because that's just that week's chapter, but it's not the thing that's on your heart. And so we call it a real world devotion. And that way, whoever's leading that week, he can talk about whatever's on his heart, whatever he's going through. Maybe it's a victory in his life he wants to share. Maybe it's a struggle in his life that he needs to share. Maybe he has read something great in a devotion that week that he wants to share. But whatever it is, that it's going to be straight from his heart. It's going to be his choice, what he picked to talk about that week. So that's why we call it a real world devotion. We also keep it, even though it's a 30-minute devotion, we tell guys don't plan to talk for 30 minutes. Plan to talk for 10 to 15 minutes.
Good. That's good.
And then ask some questions, because really every devotion in Men's Alliance turns into a big group conversation. In fact, some of the best Men's Alliance devotion nights, I can remember driving away from them thinking, man, that was incredible. That was powerful. Who was leading that? Right. Sometimes that's a good sign of a great leader, is the fact that they got everyone else sharing and talking. So it's definitely not the kind of thing where you're going to be just sitting there as an audience member listening to somebody else talk. No, you're going to form this tribe, and you're going to be a part of it.
So you don't want the leader to, so to speak, be a teacher, but more of a facilitator, so you can get a big discussion going on with your guys. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, we like a good conversation, but they're leaders, to be sure, and the topics have always been powerful and sharpening. And there's never been a time when I left a Men's Alliance tribe that I wasn't more encouraged, more sharpened than when I got there.
Well, that's super. That's great. That's great to hear. And I like the fact that you tried to draw the guys in to have a discussion, not just sit there and listen to somebody, because we do want our guys to feel comfortable to be able to open up and share with other men. Because a lot of times our men don't realize the struggles that they're going through is the same struggles a lot of the other guys are going through too.
That's right.
And it's good to hear how others are handling those struggles and how they're working through it. So that is a good concept in the way you do that. Talking about the tribes, how did you come up with the tribe? Why is a tribe? Because Men's Alliance is the name in itself doesn't lead to someone thinking that your groups would be called tribes. At least I don't think so. So how did that come about?
Well, it just came about super organically. There was not like I'll say there wasn't some sort of master plan to create a national men's ministry. It just started at the local level and just
Right.
spread. And that's really what, when we look at scripture, we see that before Jesus started his ministry, the first thing he did was he went around and he recruited and he put together his tribe, his band of
Right.
brothers.
Right.
Um, and so we feel like there is something, you know, inherently correct, if you will, and just
Hmm.
befitting a man to belong to a group, a band of brothers. We call it whatever. It's creating this notion, this concept of coming out of isolation and
Hmm.
no longer trying to struggle alone through life, but actually join join a group of men, a team of men who all have a common goal. And that common goal is to become the husbands, fathers, and leaders that God designed us to be.
Yeah, that's super. That's good. Yeah. Now, these tribes, are they all generally or mostly connected with churches,
Oh,
local
that's a great
churches?
question. Um, the majority of our tribes are. We
Okay.
are starting to see more tribes starting up in places where there's not a church. So we have tribes that meet. We have tribes in prisons.
Wow.
We have
Wow.
tribes that meet at American Legion posts. We have a lot of tribes that meet on private property. So we will put a tribe wherever men need it. Um, but the majority of our tribes are partnered with local churches. In fact, we're partnered with churches from over 12 different denominations. Don't ask me to name 12 denominations. I can't even
I
name
won't.
them
I
all.
won't.
We have a statement of faith, and we will allow any man who adheres to our statement of faith or church that agrees with our statement of faith to partner with us on that. But we're in 177 different churches. Um, we have today. It changes weekly, but as of today, we have 237 tribes. So you can see that a lot of our churches have multiple tribes, and then a lot of our tribes have no church at all. So
That's interesting.
it's really whatever we need to do to reach the men in that community, whether it's put 5 tribes at one church or put a tribe that has no church. We'll go anywhere and do whatever we need to do to reach the men in that community.
So let me ask you this question. You made an interesting statement that you have some churches that have multiple tribes.
Mhm.
Is there a reason for that? Or is it because you can only handle so many guys in a meeting, or is it
Yeah.
because it's just better for certain people to meet at certain times?
Both. It's both. So we have a lot of our tribes that meet on a Monday night or Tuesday night or Thursday night. Our most popular times are Saturday mornings. But
Okay,
a large church, with several hundred men, it really needs a tribe on a Saturday morning and then one or two tribes on weeknights, and that is for two reasons, right? Because one, some guys can't make a certain day and time, so we need to offer something that will work for their schedule. But then also, when a tribe gets to be consistently over 25 people, that's getting too big. It's too large to share. It's too large to be personal. So we'd rather have two tribes of 12, than one of 24, and that way you keep that personal connection. You just get lost in the crowd. So we have churches with 5, 6, even 7 tribes at them. And one of our local pastors here, I'm in the Richmond, Virginia area. One of our pastors here, I asked him, I said, "Hey, what can Men's Alliance do for you? What do you need Men's Alliance to do at your church?" And his answer was just start more tribes. He said, "I need you to have a tribe at my church every day of the week. Uh,
oh my
I
gracious.
just need more of it." So that's what we're seeing happen, and it's very powerful. It's
How can
really
I become? Go ahead.
it's really changing the landscape of the way churches are doing men's ministry. They're seeing how the way churches in America have for the past 40, 50 years have been doing men's ministry, it's centered around doing things that are comfortable for the men, right? Like putting them in a cushioned chair in an air-conditioned room to listen to a speaker, or serving them food indoors. It's all very nice and comfortable, and those things are good. But like that lion in the cage, men, we're like, give us something hard. Give me a challenge, right? I'm already fed enough, right? Let's see if there's something hard that we can offer our men. And it's counterintuitive, but it's the way we're designed. When you tell your men at your church that you're starting a thing where they're gonna swing 30-pound sledgehammers and flip tractor tires in the church parking lot, and it's 30 degrees outside and sleeting, you're gonna think nobody's gonna show up for that, and you're gonna be surprised because you're gonna have more men show up for that than show up for the men's breakfast. So there's
Wow.
this aspect of men are designed to do hard things. Give them something hard to do. Give them that challenge. And if I can just go on for a second here,
Sure.
Men's Alliance, we're not discovering anything new. This isn't anything new, and this isn't anything that we discovered. What we've done is, from my military background, I've looked at the way organizations in America that reach men, how
Mm-hmm.
they structure, how they model. Look at the U.S. military. Look at motorcycle clubs. These are organizations that know how to reach and retain men. So much so that men will get a tattoo of their motorcycle club or their military unit.
Right. Right.
And they don't offer men things that are easy or comfortable, right? They offer men a challenge. It's a see if you can earn our patch type of a mentality.
Right.
And if we see that and we're like, hey, this is what works. This is how organizations reach men. Why isn't the church doing this? That's what Men's Alliance is doing. So we're really structured the same way the military or a motorcycle club would. It's a challenge to men to see if they can earn the Men's Alliance challenge coin or to earn the Men's Alliance patch. And those things are done through discipleship and leadership training, by the way. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's this very intentional structure that we have of training men to be disciples. And we're doing it in a manner that's tried and true for reaching men.
Yeah. Super. So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
How do if I'm wanted to be a leader of a tribe in my local church, how do I get started?
Man, great question. You go to our website, men'salliancetribe.com. men'salliancetribe.com. And right there at the top of the homepage, it'll have a big orange button that says find a tribe in your area. You
Mm-hmm.
click on that and it'll show you what's around you, how far away they are, where they're located, what time they meet. It'll also then show you an option to start a tribe in your area. You click on that button, and we have a tribe launch team standing by, ready to help men start a tribe anywhere that they are. Our tribe launch team is geographically spread out so we can match guys with leaders in their areas. And I'll just say this, it's free. I know that's what people are thinking. That's a question people have is, well, how much does this thing cost? We're a nonprofit. We just exist on donor support, and we don't charge any sort of dues or charter fee or any of that. We'll help you start your tribe for free. In fact, we will invest in you, and we do what we call a pay it forward model. We'll help your tribe launch, and then hey, if a year or two down the road, if you're able to support us to help a next tribe launch, that's how we've been able to do it so far. So we've got the team. We will help you out. We know exactly how to do it, how to set it up, how to come alongside you, and how to partner with your church, right? If you're going to be one of our tribe's that partners with a local church, we know how to do that, and we can help get the men in that community more involved in their local church once they've come off the sideline and gotten back in the game.
Oh, that's super. That's super. I had a question, and I had a senior moment. It's just going out of my mind. Oh, what ages do you typically
Yeah.
recommend for these
Well,
tribes?
we we want young men to be at least 13.
Okay.
And this is for several reasons. One is the content of the devotions and the topics, or
Hmm.
they're manly and they're real. And
Hmm.
so we want young men, to be looking forward to becoming old enough to go to Men's Alliance. So
Okay.
um, when we first started in our early days, we didn't have that rule, and we'd have dads that were bringing their boys that were 8 and 9, and that was okay for that time. But what we've learned is those young boys, they would associate 4 years down the road Men's Alliance with something that they did when they were little. And
Right.
we don't want that. We want it to be associated with something you did when you became a man. Plus, just the ability to do our workout and be by a fire without getting hurt is also an important part. So we've drawn the line at 13. We think that's the right age for a father to start bringing his son. We also are a great ministry for single moms. So
Mm.
we have a number of teenage young men who are brought to and dropped off at tribes, who otherwise they don't have strong male Christian role models in their
Oh,
life. So
that is super. That is super.
yeah, yeah, we've discovered a unique space that we can operate in there. So and then absolutely no no upper age limit. Um, Being intergenerational around the fire is one of our strengths. So I think that a lot of groups make a very bad mistake in separating off by age groups. If you've got a group
Uh,
that's 20 somethings, 30 somethings, 40 somethings, you're never going to have any wisdom speaking into your group. You're all going to be just as dumb as each other, right? So
I totally agree with you.
when we sit around the fire at a Men's Alliance real world devotion, we may have a guy in his 20s or 30s with a problem that he's talking about, and then a guy that's in his 50s or 60s is speaking up, saying, well, here's how that worked for me. Here's the mistakes I made, and here's what I wish I would have done, or here's what I got right. And it's very powerful when you have around a fire three generations sitting there sharing and talking with each
Oh
other.
yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. I agree with you. I say quite often when I'm doing men's leadership training and things of that nature that one of the things that churches have stepped right off into the devil's trap was separating our people in our churches by their ages,
Yeah.
and that way, like you said, you don't have the older generation speaking into the younger generation, and vice versa. Sometimes we older guys can learn from the younger generation too because we don't fully understand what's going on in the culture of the day,
Yeah,
but
that's
they can
right.
share with us. So
That's a great point. That's a very good point. We've had some great devotions led by 15 and 16-year-olds, and they're sharing about their struggles in their school. And
uh,
boy, those are eye-opening, those are educational, and then we can better pray for them. We can better help them.
oh yeah, amen. That is so good, and so it's speaking into the next generation in so many ways, and I think that is so important. This is one of my heart's desires to see men speaking to the next generation. This is a great way to be able to do that. Well, Goose, we're coming up on our time really, and we got to kind of wrap things up. This is a lot of good information. I think we could continue to talk about this, and I'd love for us to do that at some point down the road. Maybe I have you back on, maybe in several months, and we can see what's going on with Men's Alliance and see how you're growing. How many did you say Men's Alliance tribes are there right now? You have registered?
We've got about, I think the today number is 237 tribes. We're in 35 states,
Okay, so maybe
including
that's
a couple of different countries, and we're a little over 4,000 men right now.
Oh, super. That's great. Well, guys, I tell you what, I would really encourage you to really check out what Goose has been sharing with us and talking to us. But Goose, I want to give you a minute or two just to share whatever's on your heart. Encourage the men with whatever you feel God's laid on your heart. Just giving you the mic and let you just share what God's placed on your heart.
Awesome. Well, thanks. I would say it's this, right? 1 Peter 5:8 is giving us the enemy's playbook, right? If you think
Mm-hmm.
about if you were going into battle or if you were going into a Friday night football game, you would study your opponent's playbook. You want to know how they're going to operate. And that's what 1 Peter 5:8 gives us. It tells us that the devil is hunting us like a roaring lion looking for
Yeah.
whom he can devour. And we all know from watching nature shows how lions hunt.
Oh
They
yeah.
go after the animal that's gotten too far away from his herd that
Mm-hmm.
thinks he's okay by himself. One of our mottos in Men's Alliance, we like to say that isolation is terminal, right? And so
Wow.
Satan wants us all to believe the lie that we are terminally unique and that we can be just fine in isolation. That's a trap. That's going to lead to us getting absolutely devoured. So I would tell your listeners, guys, you got to understand that your desire to be alone, to be isolated, that is in itself a lie from the enemy. God tells us in Genesis, he said, it's not good for men to be alone. And Jesus himself recruited his tribe before he started his ministry. So we see throughout the Bible that men are meant to be with a band of brothers. So I would just encourage guys listening to this, hey, go to our website, men'salliancetribe.com, find a tribe in your area. This really is that important. If there's not one in your area, maybe you're the guy to start one, and we'd love to help you do that.
Amen. Amen. I would love to see that. I'd love to see some more of these tribes put together. It's one of the things I push is the men getting together and doing things. A lot of times, excuse me, a lot of times we need to understand that we need to provide the men what they want in the context of what they need. And
Yeah.
and that is so important, so important. Well, thank you, Goose. I appreciate it,
Thanks, Mike.
gentlemen. Appreciate it, gentlemen, and even ladies that may be listening. You want to get your sons or your husbands connected with Men's Alliance. Once again, he shared with us the website is men'salliance.com. You can reach out
I'll
to
give
him
you
that way.
one correction there. It's men'salliancetribe.com.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
Men's
Men's Alliance
Alliance
Tribe.
Tribe. I'm glad you caught that. men'salliancetribe.com. I did put it in there correctly, so be sure you catch that. And then also, if you want to email them at info@men'salliancetribe.com. I put it in there right this time, right?
That's it. That's it. Yeah, just shoot
So
us an email if you're driving, you can't look up the website right now, shoot us an email and we'll help you out.
Yeah, super. If you want to know more about what I do as Cape Fear Men, you can reach me at capefearmen.net, or you can email me at mike.sandlin@capefearmen.net. But I appreciate you all being with us today on the Shoulder Tap podcast, and leave us a comment about this particular program, because we'd like to hear what you have to say, and it helps us to be able to prepare future podcasts, and being able to provide you the information that you're looking for. But I thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Shoulder Tap Podcast.